Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, this morning I'm able to continue to make this video. Title, the topic is on religion and belief, because doing this I think is very important to talk and think about it. So we should not think about it only once a month, once a week, because it is so important that you have to think about it every day. If you can, why not? If you are healthy, no problem, your mind is okay, then there is no reason for us not to think about it. So this morning, Alhamdulillah, I'm okay, and hopefully you are okay. We should think about it. Think about what? Think about our Creator. Why? Because we don't live in this world for free. So we have to serve, because there is a revelation in the Koran. I created mankind so that they will worship me. So it is very important. Worshipping our Creator means serving to meet the purpose of why we are created in this world. So it's not only human being being created on this world. There are also monkeys, birds, but they are not being subjected to judgment. Monkeys are not being subjected to judgment. So the monkeys are more or less living free. They don't have to serve Creator, because monkeys are not being given the brain and faculty. They are given the brain, but they don't have the faculty to think like human being. So for that reason, we being given the faculty, it is the reason for us to serve our Creator, because we are able to think. In the Quran, there are many sentences asking us to think. Have you not think about it? So many. I have read 2 pages and I already come sentences that ask us to think. So we have to use our brain, not only to use our brain to increase our wealth. Of course, to increase our wealth, we have to use brain as well. But we always have the capacity to think about our Creator. Though we use our brain to increase our wealth, there is still a lot of capacity to think about why we are being created. In the dua dua of the prayer. When you first pray, you recite or you say this dua of the first dua. In that dua, there is this sentence, Hanifau Muslimau, Yanifau, meaning that Hanif is the truth seeker. So we have to be a truth seeker in order to get the guidance from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The famous truth seeker is Prophet Ibrahim. Some of the early Japanese Muslim are the truth seeker. I heard a video, a Japanese, when he was only 14, he was thinking about finding the truth. When he study at religion, many religion, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and in the end he concluded that the true religion for him is Islam. So now he's become the Imam in Japan. He studied religion in Egypt and he come Imam because his mind from the early age was looking for the truth. So is the Prophet Ibrahim, the truth seeker. The story of Prophet Ibrahim was his father was idol maker. Then what happened was he tell his father that not to worship the idol because the idol don't have no power over anything. So his father was angry. And then what happened was Ibrahim so what happened was Ibrahim got an egg, his father egg. He broke the idol in the temple. So every idol in the temple was broken. So when the people in the community saw the idol was broken, and they will panic and try to find out who broke the idol. And then Ibrahim's father saw his egg under the feet of the biggest idol. So he tell his people that this must have been the work of his son who always argued with him and had asked him not to worship the idol. So he suspect it was his son doing that. So the people believed that his son was doing it. Straight away, they caught him. The king at the time also believed that this was the work of Ibrahim. So they decided to kill him by burning him alive. So they gather woods, a big heap in the middle of somewhere. I think we know that place is now in Turkey. And then put Ibrahim in the middle of the wood to be burned, and lighted fire out of the wood. The fire was so big, it also killed the people who was the watchers around the burning of Prophet Ibrahim, and was mentioned a number of people were also burned because the fire was so big. They had gathered a large amount of wood to burn Ibrahim. So Ibrahim was in the middle of the fire, and somehow Ibrahim didn't get burned. He was alive in the middle of the fire, and what happened was he was shivering due to the coolness of the fire. So Allah had turned the fire from being hot into a fire that chilled Ibrahim. And they looked from a distance that Ibrahim was still alive. And the angel came, pick him up, and carry him out from the place to a place near his father's house. But Ibrahim saying to the angel, he wants the angel to drop him far away from his house, because people will still look at his father's house to catch him. So angel carry him away from the house, and after this story, Allah actually invite Ibrahim to a mountain to talk directly with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then when Allah talked to him, of course, the first thing before talking to Allah, Ibrahim was ordained to cleanse himself, like we Muslim doing the cleansing before we do the prayer or taking the wudu. And then when Ibrahim talked to Allah, Ibrahim said, ask him to protect him from other God that may be jealous of him talking to Allah. Allah saying there is no God other than him. And then Allah said He is alone. There is no other God beside Allah. So Allah is alone. So there is no power in the universe other than Allah. So Ibrahim in the end find the truth that Allah is his creator. So this is the story of the truth seeker, story of Ibrahim, the prophet Ibrahim. Okay, I think that one story that I told you. Let's now talk about what's happening in the world. Okay, now I get the name of the drone, the famous Turkish drone. The name is Bayraktar. Bayaktar. Bayraktar. So sounds like the name come from Arabic. Sound Arabic meaning thunder. Sounds like it means thunder. So what happened of this drone was not all parts made in Turkey. So some of the optic part that target the enemy, the optic part is manufactured in Canada. So not 100% of the part made in Turkey. So what happened was, I wonder why Canada start to think, trying to punish Turkey not to supply anymore of this part, the optic part. So when the supplier stopped supplying the important part, Turkey no longer be able to produce this drone. But that's not the way it happened. So Turkey was researching to make the optic part themselves. And in the end, Turkey was successful in making the part that they normally bought in Canada. So the new drones produced was 100% made in Turkey. So Canada, because they don't want to supply. And then what happened was the company suffered from the business of not making any sale of their optic part. They lose the market because they themselves don't want to sell. So in the end, the company money went down and down, and then finally they say to Turkey, now buy our part, please, because we have a lot of this part for sale for you. Of course, I don't know what happened, whether Turkey want to buy from Canada after they were shown to be not a loyal supplier. So that I don't know, but the end of the story is that Turkey was able to make that part themselves. So it was the story about their fighter TFX. Why they make TFX is because US had not supplied them with F-35 because Turkey had decided to buy S-400 land-to-surface missiles from Russia, and US doesn't like Turkey to buy that, threatened Turkey that they would not supply Turkey with F-35. For the same story as well, that Turkey make TFX a stealth fighter themselves for the reason that US had not supplied them with F-35. Now I heard US is on the losing side because some of the parts Turkey had made it and made it to the quality that other country cannot match the quality made from Turkey. So, and also they are not happy as well that Turkey able to develop the fighter themselves, meaning there is a competition as well, because Turkey will also want to sell it when it is done. I heard that Russia also want to buy, and recently I heard the price of TFX is as expensive as F-35. So they must have make it good, because the good product will always be expensive, not cheap. What else? I think that is the story of Turkey. What else Turkey have recently? Oh, I've been talking about Turkey having this laser gun that have down enemy aircraft. And I also seen recently in the YouTube that Turkey had built Hauser. Hauser is a big gun. So this Hauser shoot from a distance. So they don't shoot directly, they don't see the target. But how they shoot is knowing the coordinate. They shoot to the sky and the shell will drop, will move according to trajectory they predict to reach the target. So in this kind of war battle, they just look at the coordinate and set the coordinate in the computer, and the barrel or the turret of the gun will align itself to target the cell where the coordinate is set. Actually, I was amazed at this gun, and I've seen that in the YouTube that the gun were made by women. Maybe it must be made by people who are good. Maybe the physicists or the mathematician. What happened was there was a Syrian convoy bringing their weapons and soldiers to a place. So this Turkish army start shooting at them from 40 kilometers away, and the shell hit the convoy. Is it like they were shot by a jet flying about? But what happened was the convoy of the enemy were destroyed, and they had not been able to send their war of equipment and their soldiers to the battlefront. That is amazing story about the big gun that they had produced. Okay, brothers and sisters, I told a lot already on the story of Turkey and the story of people seeking for the truth. Okay, let's now read the Koran. So we should be reading page 109 this morning. Let's see. Now we should be reading page 110. So to get the barakah of this morning, let me read the first sentence in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَمِنَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّا نَصَارَى أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَهُمْ وَنَسُوا حَظًّا مِّمَّا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فَأَغْرَيْنَا بَيْنَهُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ وَسَوْفَ يُنَبِّئُهُمُ اللَّهُ بِمَا كَانُوا يَصْنَعُونَ. Sadaqallahul Azim. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's see the meaning of the sentences on this page 110 about my Quran. And among the people who say we are the Christian, but the word here is Nasrani. If you see the word Nasrani here, it means the Christian. It's not the current Christian, but the early Christian. or I'm not sure whether it's early Christian. Maybe it's the Christian during Prophet Muhammad time. Maybe it's not the early Christian, the follower of Jesus. So some Christian are the follower of Jesus. Some may not be the follower of Jesus. So this one, let's read again below what's happening. We have taken the pledge, their pledge, but they deliberately forget a portion of the pledge which have been reminded of them. Then we create enmities and hatred between them till the day of the judgment, and Allah will announce to them what they had done. Allah will tell them what had they done wrong in the day of judgment. Or the people of the book, verily our messenger had come to you and clarified to you on a lot of things about the book that you have hid, and many had left the book or ignored the book. Verily has come to you the light from Allah, and His book or the Koran to clarify. The book of Allah has given the guidance to people who follow what has been accepted by Allah to the way that is safe with the guidance of the book or the Quran. Allah had sent them out from the darkness to light with His leave and show them the way that is straight. Verily, then people become disbelievers who say that Allah is Al-Masih, meaning that who believe that Jesus is Allah. So they are become unbelievers. Say Muhammad, who can stop from what had Allah willed. If Allah had wanted to destroy Al-Masih or Jesus, the son of Mary, with his mother and all mankind on earth, meaning that Allah has the power to destroy everybody on earth. No one can stop if Allah wants to destroy everybody on earth. So look like this is Allah anger of people who say Allah is Jesus. This anger is also mentioned in the Gospel of Barnabas, when Jesus said he's scared that the earth will become wide open and everybody will drop to this gap created on earth. Jesus mentioned that in the Gospel of Barnabas too, of Allah anger of people saying him that he is God or Son of God. To Allah on the government of the heaven and the earth and whatever is in between the two. Allah created whatever He likes to create. Allah has power over all things. Okay, that complete my reading of the Quran. Very interesting reading this morning. So thank you very much. Let me read the Gospel of Barnabas. Okay, we should be reading chapter 119 of Gospel of Barnabas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For verily, every time that a man behold a thing and forget God, who has made it for man, who hath made it for man, he hath sinned. For if a friend of thine should give thee somewhat to keep in memory of him, and thou shalt sell it, and forget thy friend, thou shalt offend against thy friend. Even so does man, for when he behold the creature, and has not in memory of the Creator, he for love of man has created it. He sins against God, his Creator, being ingratitude. Okay, being ingratitude is a sin. Okay, we got the message there. He therefore who shall behold woman shall forget God, who for the good of man created woman. He will love her and desire her, and so such degree will this lust of his break forth, and he will love everything like unto a thing loved, so that chance come that sin on which is ashamed to have memory. If then man shall put bridle upon his eye, this shall be loth of the sense, which cannot desire that which is not presented for it. For so shall the flesh be subject to the spirit, because the ship cannot move without wind, so the flesh without the sand cannot sin. That thereafter it would be necessary for the penitent to turn storytelling into prayer. Reason itself was showed, even if it were not also a precept of God. For every idle word man sins, and our God blots out the sin for reason of prayer. For that prayer is the advocate of soul, the prayer is the medicine of the soul, prayer is the defense of the heart, prayer is the weapon of faith, prayer is the bridle of sense, prayer is the soul of the flesh, suffer it not be corrupted by sin. I tell you that prayer is the hands of the life, whereby the man that prays shall defend himself in the day of judgment, for shall keep his soul from the sin here on earth, and shall preserve his heart, that it is not touched by evil desire, offending Satan, because he shall keep the saints within the law of God, and his flesh shall walk in the righteousness, reviving from God all that shall ask. As God loved, in whose presence we are, a man without prayer can no more a man of good works, that a dumb man can plead his cause to a blind one. Then fistula can be healed without agony. A man defend himself without movement, or attack another without weapon, shall without rudder, and preserve that flesh without soul. For verily he who has no hand cannot receive. A man should change dung into gold, and clay into sugar. What would he do? Then Jesus, being silent, disciple answer, no one should exercise himself anyway other than making gold and sugar. Then said Jesus, now why does not a man change foolish storytelling into prayer? In time perchance given him by God, he may offend God. For what prince would give a city to his subject in order that the latter might make war upon him? As God lived, a man knew after what manner the soul is transformed by vain talking. He would soon bite off his tongue with his teeth, then talk, O wretched world. For today men do not assemble together for prayer, but in porches of temple. In the very temple itself Satan has there the sacrifice of vain talk, and that which is worse of things which I cannot talk without shame. So this chapter tells the importance of prayer in our life. And with that, thank you very much for listening.